Hi, I'm Di with Sister Chicks Quilting, and welcome to my channel today. You know what? I love chandeliers. In fact, I want one so bad in my sewing room. However, I have short ceilings, and it's just not practical. The next best thing is a chandelier quilt, and the next best thing from that is a free pattern. This pattern that I'm making today is from Lella Boutique, and I'm going to link to it in my description below so you can go visit her blog and see her incredible patterns in her pattern books. She's a really great pattern maker, and I really appreciate that she has put this one out there for free. Now, this quilt is 60 by 60. A 60 by 60 quilt for me is like buying a crop top. It just isn't going to do the job or cover what I need it to cover. So I wanted to add more to this quilt. I had 4 charm packs, and the directions said, hey, you only need 2 charm packs. I was super excited about that. Well, my charm packs I bought, I'm pretty sure I bought them in 2010. It may have been 2011, but it was a long time ago. And they're Riley Blake's, and back then there was only 24 in a charm pack, or just however many was in the fabric line, but these were chat packs of 24, and this is written for a 48 piece charm pack. I didn't have enough fabric. Oh, I was devastated because I was really sold on making this quilt. Oh, by the way, the charm pack that I'm using is called Priscilla by Lila Tuller, and she's a designer for Riley Blake. Really, really cute fabric. I thought, I'm going to go out on Etsy. You can find anything on Etsy. And guess what? I found a shop that had the three main pieces. I was so excited. I ordered a 1/4 yard of each, and she shipped them right off. And then I was thinking, gosh, I wish there were more out there. So I thought I found another shop. I didn't pay attention to the name of the shop that I bought the first ones from. And I got an email from Shelly at, here it is, at Whimsical Willow. This is her Etsy store. And I thought, hey, I'm a little confused about what there is out there. So I gave her my phone number, and guess what? She called me, and it turned out to be wonderful. She said, I've got some fat quarters, and I know you're looking for this line. So I got 3 more fat quarters, was able to make more pieces to make the quilt bigger, and she had a lot of the main fabric. I was able to buy enough for a border in the same fabric and for the binding. So I'm super excited about this. And Shelly from Whimsical Willow Etsy shop was incredible. It turns out that she's a long arm quilter. I think she's kind of close to, she's probably younger than I am. Everybody's younger than I am. But anyway, we really connected on the phone. It was great talking with her. It was so wonderful that she helped me with this quilt. Go out and support this Etsy shop if you have the chance. Again, Whimsical Willow on Etsy. Okay, let's get quilting because this is a fun quilt. So this is the block. Super simple. This is a 5-inch square. These 2 strips on here and here are 7-inch squares, 2.5 inches here. And I'm going to show you how to make one. It is so easy. And then we're going to lay it out and sew this quilt up together. So the only thing that I had to add was some yardage. And I'm using a white on white yardage. It's a, that's right, it's a Moda print. I thought it would look cute. I don't know if you can see it or not. But a couple of hints. White on white is hard to get face up, right? So what I do is I use the same light to make sure I have the correct face up on this fabric. And that's the light on this sewing machine. Before I put a colored piece on my white on white, I take a look at it under this light, and I can see that this is the back side. I flip it over, and you can actually see the graphics of the white ink, so you know that you've got the right side. So every piece in this quilt, I'm proud to say, I got right side up. You start with a 5-inch square, and here's a 5-inch square. It's actually, that's the back side of it, because you're going to sew 2 strips on it. You're going to sew a 5.5 by 2.5 inch strip, And you just do that. And then you open it up. And then when you open it up, you press the seams, and I'm just finger pressing them, okay? But then you take your two 7-inch strips with the 2.5-inch square on it, and you nest that seam together. So simple. And at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you sew these strips down the side. Now I'm just going to sew another strip down the side, nesting those seams like so. And that is the block. And then when you put it on the quilt, wall, you set it on point, and that's where you get your chandelier kind of dripping. So here is a finished block that's all pressed. And the next thing I'm going to do is sew some rows together. So as you can see, when your quilt is on the design wall, and maybe you can't see it very clearly because my design wall is white, but there's holes. And the pattern has you cut out these triangles. And you can just put this triangle right there. It tells you to cut out enough to complete the row and to make your quilt flat. It also has you cut out these little triangles for the corner. So as you're sewing this quilt together, I'm going to step this back a little bit. So as you're sewing this quilt together, this is a row, this is a row, this is a row, so forth and so on. So that's how you sew your rows together, and you're actually sewing the rows together straight and not on the bias. I'm going to pull a few of these off the design wall so I can get this quilt sewn up tonight. So you don't have pointy ends and have to trim the quilt off. The pattern also tells you to make triangles, and I know it's hard to see because my design wall is white, and so is my backing. But you just make a triangle, the measurements that it has, and it fits right in that. Last one. So I'm going to take this first row, and I'm just going to fold this over like so, and this over like so, and I know this is on the corner, and I'm going to sew this up together. I'm going to start by sewing the small triangle on this square, and to match them so this is exactly in the center. And the easiest way to do that is the way I put quilts on the long arm. You fold it in the center and you finger press where the center is. And then I'm going to put this right sides together, and I'm going to match those two folded folds, put a pin in, and sew this at 1/4 inch. I'm going to explain my method because I get asked questions about it all the time. But when I take my pieces off my design wall, I put these two seams, right facing, that are going to be sewn together. I put them right together, facing my machine. So this is the side that's to be sewn and it faces my machine. I've done that for years. I just don't mess up rows anymore. It's wonderful. And then the second row is the same. These two pieces, right facing, and they get sewn together. Well, look at this third piece. It has a yellow pin in it. And if you go back and look, well, I'm just going to show you that as I go through this seam, or go through this row. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the pieces that are facing each other, right sides together, and I'm going to sew those right up with a 1/4 inch seam. So let me show you. I've got these sewn together and I flip this one open and you see the blue bird pin. And I flip this one open and there's a blue bird pin and a yellow bird pin. Well, I put the pins in the same direction. So I'm going to flip this one over so I have two bluebirds facing each other. Flip it like that so I know I'm sewing it before I pull the pins out. I was able to piece all of the rows last night until early in the morning. Yeah, let's say that. But I've got it all pieced. It's laying on top of the calyx because I just pressed it. And this is my border. So I'm going to go ahead. I've measured the length of the quilt. It is 85 inches in 3 different places, which is both sides and the middle. So excited. Probably off a 1/4 inch, but who cares? About a 1/4 inch. And I've cut 2 border strips in 85 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and sew those on the quilt. Then I'll measure the width, and we'll put a top and a bottom on, and this baby will be ready to quilt. Are you ready for this? This one's going to get a really big ta-da, you guys. Ta-da! I'm excited to have this quilt done. The size, the quilt was 60 by 60. I made it almost a 70 by a 90, which is a twin size. I want to thank Shelly from Whimsical Willow Boutique on Etsy. She was great to work with. And let me show you, this is the binding. And of course, when I get it done, I'm going to share it with you on this channel. I'm also going to link the pattern. Thank you, Lella Boutique. Now, I am hearing from a lot of you that are telling me what you're making. I would love to see it. Some of you send me pictures through Facebook on Messenger, but if you have an Instagram account, it would be so cool if you would hashtag them with the hashtag Sister Chicks Quilting. Easy to remember because it's my channel name, right? And then I can see what you're making. I would love to see that hashtag grow on Instagram. So next week, I hope to inspire you more. I'm going to delve into my 2.5 inch scrap bin again. I haven't done that since the trip around the world, and guess what? I'm going to make another scrappy quilt with 2.5 inch squares, and it's going to be called Crossroads. Can't wait to share it with everybody. And happy Easter, everyone. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Bye.